And there's the corporate militia.
8-year-old Taborcia evicted. Jeremy McCallis evicted. Kathy Galvez evicted. The Lee family evicted. Peter Green evicted. Mary Phillips evicted. Renee Yanes evicted. The Mamas of Mama's House evicted. This is not the San Francisco we want to see. So again, we ask Twitter, what is your public offering to San Francisco? Hey, hey, have you heard? Twitter is a greedy bird. Hey, hey, have you heard? Twitter is a greedy bird. Twitter, Twitter, you can't hide.
We can see your greedy side.
What do we want? Stop corporate tax rate. When do we want it?
Now.
Stop the evictions now. No more tax subsidies for Twitter. Stop the evictions now. No more tax subsidies for Twitter. Public Workers for Action. The reason we're supporting this today is this is an outrage what's going on in San Francisco. You have billionaires who are celebrating today in San Francisco and around the world who are doing great as a result of this IPO. At the same time, the city, San Francisco, is giving tax subsidies worth $56 million to this company and the other billionaires. What we're saying is, why are people dying in the street? Why are people not getting health care in San Francisco? Why do people have to travel 2 or 3 hours, working people, to come to San Francisco? Is this city for the billionaires or is it for the people?
The people!
Is this city for the billionaires or for the people?
The people!
What we're saying is the mayor and the board of supervisors are kowtowing to the owners of this company. They're kowtowing to Wall Street. And what you have in this country is a great disparity of wealth. You have people having to work 2 or 3 jobs. You have people who cannot get health care, people who cannot retire, and they're attacking public workers while these billionaires are doing well. This disparity of wealth, this exploitation. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, the board of supervisors kicked out people out of the parks. Well, who are they speaking for? They're speaking for more gentrification. They're speaking for more multi-million-dollar condos. We need housing for working people. We need to halt the evictions. There needs to be an immediate halt of all evictions in San Francisco so working people can afford to live here. This has to stop, and we say enough is enough. Hands off the working people. Hands off the retirees. Hands off public workers. Stop the evictions. We need justice for the people, not more money for the billionaires.
Of San Francisco, which is considered cute because it's full of poor peoples of color and indigenous peoples, and we were given a $700 rent increase, so we had to close Mama House, which is a house for poor single mamas and children. That meant that all of us mamas were houseless on the street. We could not afford to get another place in this city, and it's because they were housing
corporate profit.
There is an eviction epidemic sweeping San Francisco right now, and while revitalization is important, we cannot have the displacement of valued members of the community in the process. The application for the demolition permit being used to evict us was applied for back in August, but it was never publicly posted. Had it been posted, the statements I have from many members of the community surely would have come forward to appeal, and we have statements to prove this. John Gall and Amy Bogart, who are the building owners, short-circuited due process here under cover of darkness because the eviction notices were not served until late September, long after the appeal timeline had passed. The eviction memo that we received has a number of contradictions. The reason for the evictions, according to John Gall and Amy Bogart, the building owners, is that they failed to get residential accessory use. This is not true. The Department of Building Inspection merely told them what they had to do to bring the building up to code in order to have the residential use approved. This is the pathway to legalizing the units that the City of San Francisco and the Department of Building Inspection has clearly made available to them. Though we are told they are exploring this because they wanted it, they have yet to rescind the eviction notices. The eviction memo we received from John Gall and Amy Bogart states that per these city orders, the building must be entirely vacated. This is also totally not true. At an official Department of Inspection Commission hearing on October 16th, Commission members said they were very clear that when they spoke to John Gall, they never told him he had to evict anyone. We want to make it very clear today that the city is not making building owners evict anyone, and the Department of Building Inspection are not the bad guys here. John Gall and Amy Bogart blame the need to evict us on the order of the city and Department of Building Inspection. This is not true and has been confirmed by both the city and the Department of Inspection. We have been lied to. In the eviction memo we received from the building owner, it says, "It has long been our belief that this was achievable and we would be able to keep this unique and affordable community. The city has offered them this, and yet the eviction notices stand. While the permit has been suspended, the eviction countdown for the holidays continues." We want to thank the City of San Francisco and the Department of Building Inspection, who have been very supportive of our cause and have suspended the permit. We would like to ask the City of San Francisco and the Department of Building Inspection, in light of these facts, to take the next step and support our affordable housing by having the permit canceled and revoked. As the permit was not done according to legal process and is the premise for a massive eviction in bad faith. Show the City of San Francisco that you will not stand for real estate spectators who conduct shady evictions which hurt people who help the city. This case is a very important case because it sets a precedent for future cases, and there will be many more cases like this in San Francisco. We also ask that John Gall and Amy Bogart drop this eviction so that we may continue living here and enjoy our holidays in peace.
Let's have Thanksgiving and Christmas in our home.
We are proud contributing members of the community, and this story just looks really bad for the holidays. We want to thank first and foremost the City of San Francisco, especially Jane Kim's office and the Department of Building Inspection. All of the tenants that are here today helping with our actions. Hard-working people that are helping us, including the attorneys representing us, providing us legal advice. Last but not least, most importantly, Tommy and Fred from Housing Rights Committee. We also want to thank the press and the media for being here today covering the event. And April, who's a representative from Jane Kim's office today. She has a statement as well.
Supervisor Jane Kim. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is April Veneracion. I work for Supervisor Kim's office, and I'm here on behalf of our office to support the tenants here at 1049 Market Street and the tenants at 1067 Market Street and all the other tenants who may be facing a similar situation. You are the tenants that make up San Francisco, and you support our community and our city by being workers, by being artists, small business owners, and we are here to support you. You have weathered Market Street. Many of you have been here for 10 plus years, and you are here, and we want to support you during this time. The supervisor has repeatedly called for the property owner to rescind the eviction notices here at 1049 Market Street, especially in light of the holidays. We're at the heels of the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we don't want to see anybody out on the street and evicted during the holidays. Ever! Absolutely. The supervisor has been in contact with the property owner and has been encouraged by the recent conversations, but as of yet, the eviction notices have not been rescinded, and this is why we're here today to continue to support the tenants and the tenants at other buildings of commercial use that may be used as residential. The supervisor has called for the Department of Building Inspection and Planning Department to survey other buildings in the South of Market on Market Street that maybe have been used as residential units and who have tenants that want to continue to live there. So we are here once again to support the tenants at 1049 Market Street and to call on the property owner to rescind the evictions here. And I just also want to thank the tenants for sticking together. I know that it's tough during this time and very uneasy and uncertain what the future holds, but your regular meetings and the meetings with the advocates from Housing Rights Committee and all the other citywide organizations that are active during this time of eviction, we just want to thank you all for all your work and your support of not just you and your situation, but the other tenants in the city at this time.
We are here to demand that John Gall and his partners withdraw every single eviction notice before Thanksgiving. In fact, we want them immediately withdrawn. Okay? Every single eviction notice at this property. He hasn't done it at the other two buildings yet, but we want them withdrawn from this property right now, okay? That's the first thing. Because, you know, a lot of people are under the impression that it's all over, that the city has solved the problem. And, you know, we really appreciate what the city's done. The city's done a tremendous job here. But the reality is there are still eviction notices looming over the heads of these folks, okay? And we're coming into the holidays, and the first round of eviction notices expire right before Thanksgiving, which means that right after Thanksgiving, those tenants could be served with unlawful detainers, which means that then they're in the court process and they have to fight for their homes in court. We do not want that. We want the eviction notices withdrawn before Thanksgiving. You know, the city has provided the landlord with everything he needs to legalize these units. And there's nothing stopping him from doing that. Nothing. Nothing in the world stopping him from doing that. So we ask again, John Gall and company, why are you continuing with these evictions? Because until you withdraw those notices,
there's still evictions happening. And another thing, John Gall and Amy Bogart and all the other people who are involved with the LLC that own this building, we want you to know that the tenants are not leaving. We don't care what you do at this point. They're staying and fighting.
How much property do they own?
That's a really good question, because the research we've done indicates they've played a lot of shell games in terms of their holdings and how they're managing the buildings. But we do know confirmed this building here, which is 1049 Market Street, 1005 Market Street at the end of the block on the corner, as well as 1067 Market Street over here. Yeah, and the business is down here, so, and Hayes Street. So this is very important, because we expect that whatever happens here is going to happen at the other buildings. So we're stepping forward to stop this from happening in the other buildings. Yes?
How many tenants are still here and how many have left?
That's a really good question. There's about 84 units in the building, and we know about 20 have moved out. So the remaining ones that are here do plan on fighting. Even after the city and the Department of Building Inspection gave them a pathway to legalize the units here, their response was to issue even more eviction notices in the building.
Do you have any meetings with Gall planned or any more meetings with the Jane Kim planned?
Yes, we meet with Jane Kim's office on a regular basis. We've not had any meetings with John Gall for the obvious reasons, but Jane Kim's office has been very supportive in acting as a liaison between the tenants and John Gall.
If you guys aren't successful in fighting this, do you guys have a plan to help find housing for everyone, or is everyone just kind of doing their own thing?
That's a really interesting question. We did receive a pledge of support that if things don't go well, we will be provided assistance to find other affordable housing. But based on everything that we've heard and speaking with the attorneys, it's not a very good legal case, so it's not very likely to hold up in court. So, correct. The evictions don't really. There's a lot of things about it that just don't look like they're going to hold up, especially when you consider that the permits have been suspended. How can you evict somebody when you're trying to do something when that's been suspended? So also, they didn't follow the due process, which is, required. So.
I will tell you that one of the things that we have really pushed is the importance of a great public housing agency. And I do want to say that, there were a lot of battles between myself and the former Housing Authority Director. We did not work together well. And I think that we've seen, and the mayor has stepped forward and said, we have to reimagine how public housing is in San Francisco. And that means that units need to be utilized. We should not have 400 units that are vacant. We need to have those units occupied. The Section 8 waiting list is still closed. It's been closed since 2001. The public housing list has been closed since 2008. And we worked hard, I worked hard with some of the people in this room to get a preference for people that are homeless to move up on the list. But if the list doesn't open, how can this be relevant to people? We have 250 families on the homeless family waiting list. They should be prioritized in public housing. So I say to you that your activism here, and there are many of you that are leaders, and I come to the meetings and I come to be accountable about things, but we need to keep speaking up. And I think that this is a time where the economy of the city is improving. More jobs have been added in San Francisco on a percentage basis than any city in this country. And our mayor deserves tremendous credit. And I am grateful for the opportunity to work for him and to see these jobs coming here. But that growth is an opportunity for us to address what hasn't worked and how difficult it's been for people living on the margins of this city. And I think that we have to work together and we have to speak up. And frankly, your voices are more meaningful than mine. Because I'm inside the building. We need people outside educating us and saying, these are the conditions in my building. We need a nutrition program. I know someone who's being evicted because they have a mental illness and they're not getting the support that they need not to wind up on the street. And so I just want to open myself to all of you and say, this is the work that we need to do together, and that we really need to speak up, because this is a city that values itself on its diversity. And economic and income diversity is one of the most important elements of it. And those of you here know enough to be in this room right now. You know enough how to reach out and find me, whether you have my business card or not, and you know how to advocate so we start to do things a little smarter and a little better and a little more logically. Because the money gets paid, right? Call the police, and the police hate it. They can't solve homelessness. I mean, I work with cops and give them, beds and resources to try and help the people they interact with. But there's always the money for the street cleaning. There's always the money for the police services or for the agencies that are evicting people and then trying to rehouse people. But sometimes it doesn't get directly to the people who need the help, and that's something we need to change.
But the big thing is that we've got bathrooms.
What about